Good morning for all of those of you out there that are watching this in the morning. I just wanted to take a few minutes this morning and just address a few things. I am totally human. I have a lot of my own challenges and obstacles to overcome in life, just like all of us. We always have something that is going to throw us off with, our goals and what we're planning and what we want out of our life. I don't know if you were like me as a kid, but when I was a kid, I had so many dreams of who I was going to be and what I was going to be and where I was going to go with life and the ideal family that I was going to have and the ideal relationships, marriage, children, what kind of a house I was going to live in. And really, a lot of those things didn't end up happening. A lot of them did, actually, but there were more of them that I felt like I didn't put enough focus and attention on that didn't happen, and it's brought me to where I am right now. And I feel like a lot of that comes back to our self-confidence, how we feel about ourselves. I feel like I was brought up in a very loving home. My mom always made me feel like I was loved and cared for, but I still had a lot of self-confidence issues and just really did not see my value as much as I should have. Now, I don't know why that is. I've talked to others that have been in more difficult situations than I was in growing up that also have very similar feelings, that they did not feel like they had a lot of confidence growing up and really have struggled with a lot of the same things that I have struggled with. And today, my daughter is graduating high school, and I'm so proud of her. She came to live with me full time about a year and a half ago, and at the time, things were really, really difficult living with her dad, and she came into the middle of her junior year with 11 credits. She was so determined to graduate that really nothing was going to stop her. She's had such a desire to go to school and try her best and show up to classes. She has just done absolutely amazing. And over the last year and a half, including summer school last year, she has earned 17.1 credits so that she can graduate with the highest level of diploma. So rather than just getting a state diploma with 24 credits, she's getting a diploma with her school name on it, and they require 28 credits. Now, both me and my husband and her counselor were like, just focus on, getting the diploma and graduating. She's like, no, I'm going to get a diploma with my school name on it. And just watching her and the dedication that she has had to put into this, because it's been difficult, when other kids are out with their jobs and hanging out with friends. She's been home studying and just doing her very best to be able to earn a diploma in the form that she wants to. But when she moved in with us, she had such a desire to grow and improve her life from the difficult and challenging situation that she was in, that she pretty much took everything that we told her. We told her that if she was going to be with us and she wanted to graduate, then she had to work hard to graduate. But that was going to require her to override some of the self-talk that she had about herself and about life. And she has taken all of those things and she has incorporated it into her life and into the way that she feels about herself. And she has just become such a beautiful, positive, uplifting person. She just tries really hard to focus on good things and focus on what she wants more than she focuses on what she doesn't want. And I am watching how my home is changing because this has been the change in our focus. Now, how does that tie into self-confidence from the beginning of this little video recording? Well, when we get down and we struggle, I definitely struggle with depression and anxiety for many reasons, but I cannot allow that to be an excuse for me not being successful, for me not being happy. I can't ever allow that to be more in control of my life than I am. And unfortunately, there have been a lot of periods of my life where it has been in more control than I feel like I have been. But what I have learned over the last several weeks is that it's okay. Like, we have feelings and we have emotions, but when they start to take more control of our lives than we do, there's a problem. And we have to be able to somehow override that and overcome that difficulty. Just like somebody that might be in a wheelchair, or somebody that might not have their use of their eyes or their ears, they have to develop a way to be able to continue to function or endlessly be miserable. And I've never been one of those people that have enjoyed being miserable. I know what it feels like to feel good. I know what it feels like to be happy. And when I'm not feeling that way, it really has a big negative impact on me. Literally, I begin to feel my entire body shut down. And it's only as I've gotten older and have really tuned in more to myself through connection with myself, my higher power, my God, whatever that is for you, that's individual to you. But the more that I've been able to tune into my God as I've gotten older and through different periods of time in my life, the more I've been able to tune into my body and tune into my emotions and be able to have those inner conversations that have been like, hey, like, there's a problem here. Like, you need to self-correct. And honestly, that's not easy. It's not easy to get up and be like, okay, I feel like crap, but I'm gonna have a good attitude. And honestly, I feel like when I wake up feeling that way, I fail more than I succeed. But the important part is that you keep trying and you keep working at it. If you're gonna play a sport, you're not great at it the first day, right? And sometimes with some of us, it takes a lot more effort than others. If you're gonna sing, you don't just wake up one morning and have an amazing opera level voice and control with your voice. You have to practice and you have to work at it. When I was a kid, I really wanted to play the violin. I wanted to play the violin so bad. And my mom was finally like, okay, you can play the violin. Like, if that's what you want, okay, we've got a teacher, let's get you a violin. So for a while, I borrowed a violin until I grew out of it. But I knew 2 strings, 2 notes when I very first learned. And I played those 2 strings for an hour. And then when I learned more, I played even longer. Like, when I very first started, I would play a half an hour at a time, and I would practice twice a day. And then when I learned all 4 strings, the following week, I practiced those strings for an hour every day. My poor family had to listen to me practice and screech. But I practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. And within about 6 months, I outgrew my teacher because I practiced so much. I had such a passion for it. And I got a much better teacher about a year later. And I had to ride a bus to get to her house. And it took me about an hour and a half to get there. My half-hour, 45-minute lesson, and then an hour and a half to get back home. I wanted to play so badly. But because of my focus and because of my drive to be better and the amount of time that I spent practicing, I got good. I got really good at the violin really quickly because I had such a drive and such a motivation to play and to make it sound good and to be good at it. But as soon as I stopped practicing, my instructor immediately knew that first week that I had started reducing my practice. she was able to recognize it. And pretty soon I was only practicing about once or twice a week. I had gotten a full-time job and eventually an assistant manager position at the place that I was working, and I couldn't devote that time to practicing anymore. And it definitely had an impact on the way that the instrument sounded when I picked it up and played. This is the same for any habit, any skill that we learn. Think about a violin and how scratchy it sounds when you begin. It's so rough sounding, feeling when we start new habits and behaviors. And it's always easier to give in to the temptation to just give up and stop working on it and stop trying because it's hard. Maybe we don't have that self-confidence to keep moving forward. Depression and anxiety are a beast in that respect. They make us feel like we're incapable. They make us feel like we're not cared for as much as we need to be cared for, and those feelings are very real in that moment, especially if you need face-to-face contact with someone to help boost that for you. If you're somebody that needs time, if that's your love language, then it's really hard to just talk to somebody on the phone or just see them on a video call, just see pictures of them. You need their physical presence in your life. And that's not always possible, right? We live in a society where we have to work so hard just for our basic needs, our basic necessities. If you're in middle class, you probably struggle every single day. You struggle to make sure the bills are paid. You struggle to save money to go on vacation. You struggle to, save money for special events and holidays that you want to be able to celebrate with your family. Or maybe you're okay and you've got all the things that you need, and then an emergency comes up and now you've got to either put it on credit or, pull from one of your resources that you would rather not pull from. But we all have an obstacle that we have to overcome. And I feel like it's a sort of depression when we get going on something and then we just don't have the drive and motivation to do it anymore. We repress it, we push it down, we hold on to it. We don't share those talents and skills with others. And I always feel better when I'm able to live my best self, my best life, when I'm focusing on those things that are important to me. Sometimes it's hard to find the balance, the right balance for your situation in your life. And that also is really important to figure out. And if you can figure out when you're younger, it's even better, because then you develop those habits and hopefully are able to hold on to them through, a busy job, a stressful job, finding ways to pay the bills, going to college, getting married, traveling, whatever it is. Sometimes it's hard to hold on to those habits, but I also find that if we learn those habits earlier on in our life, it's easier to carry them out with us as we get older. So if you're somebody that struggles with anxiety, if you're somebody that struggles with depression, honestly, the best way that I've learned to overcome that is to refocus. If I'm struggling with depression, it's because I'm looking back on my life. I'm thinking about all the sad things, the bad things, this is like that situation, or this is like that situation. And comparing it and not seeing the hope that where I am right now will help get me to where I need to be. I just see the darkness. Anxiety, that worry of what's going to happen in the future. Am I going to be able to make it? This is my track record. How am I going to do? Am I going to be able to figure it out? Don't worry about those things. And honestly, this is coming from somebody who has dealt with depression, since I was at least, 10 years old. That's the first time I really remember having that feeling of depression. So I've dealt with depression for a very long time. So This is a woman that has come through some really difficult times in life with depression and anxiety and just overcoming unreasonable situations and circumstances in my life. You have to refocus. You have to move your focus on where you are right now in your thinking process and focus on where you want to be. Focus on what you want in your life, and it will manifest. When you set something out there into the universe, when you put it in God's hands, when you release what you want and you allow, the universe will inevitably bring that into your life. You can't help it. You put that thing out there, and the universe, God, your higher power, will bring it back to you. In some of my other videos, I've mentioned how I've been applying for jobs for a while, but really focusing on this year on an end goal, on where financially I want to be contributing to my household. And I have had recently, just in the last couple of weeks, job after job come back with a referred status, meaning I apply for a job, my application and resume are rated, and then I'm assigned a status, and it's either referred or not referred. And this morning, I just got 2 jobs that I've been referred on. They're both higher pay than what I have right now, though. I don't know if I got the other job that I applied for last week. I'm still anxiously waiting, for the firm offer. And honestly, if I get that offer, I will definitely take it. But there are 2 other jobs that I got today on a referred status, and they're both a higher pay than what the job is that I just applied for. And that's what I was thinking this morning, is when you put it out there, it will inevitably come back to you if you genuinely mean what you're putting out there, if you're genuinely trying to take steps to move forward. But you have to put it out there. This is part of my journey, and I want to be able to be transparent with you on how it's going. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. I know that your circumstances may not seem very hopeful. I have been through some absolutely heartbreaking situations in my life, and I never would have imagined that I would have found myself here where I am today without striving hard to have a positive attitude and without really focusing on what is important to me and what I want. No matter how many times I have had the rug pulled out from underneath me, no matter how many times I've fallen on my face, no matter how many times I have felt like it's been 1 step forward and 2 steps back, I strongly feel that I am where I need to be and where I am meant to be, and that there are people out there that need to hear this information. So I hope that when you are watching these videos, that you share them with somebody that needs the information. There are so many people out there I know that feel like they are just stuck in the place that they are at. That is simply not true. We have the power and ability to reach far beyond where we are right now. I strongly believe that is one of the gifts that God gives us, is to have the power and strength to do what is best, and that anything that we do where we have a desire to help other people out and to move forward in benefiting those around us, we truly will have the power and strength to achieve. I have a strong passion for humanitarian aid work, and I have, since I was 8, 9, 10 years old, I have just always had that desire and passion to help others. And I feel like that is one of my natural talents and skills, is to help others be able to find their true nature and how capable they truly are to be able to reach what's the most important for them. And even though my life has not turned out exactly where I've wanted it to be, it is exactly where I need to be. And I have acquired many of the skills that I had no idea I would even acquire as a young lady, as a young teenager, dreaming about the life that I was going to have. And in so many ways, I've accomplished everything that I've wanted to. I am a bright, highly intelligent lady that has a true desire and passion to help the people that are around me, which is so uncommon in today's day and age. There's so many that are out there to only think of themselves, only to gain success for their own benefit. I want success through helping and benefiting others. I want to be able to help, the most entry-level employee be able to reach their dreams, both at work and their financial status, but also at home in their personal life. It's not just about me, it's about helping other people and helping them live a life that they can really dream and uplift others. So please share this with others, not for my benefit, but for the benefit of others. I know every single one of us knows somebody out there that struggles with depression, anxiety, self-doubt, mental illness issues, and I'm certainly not trying to replace mental health specialists. Certainly seek professional help when and where you need it, because they are there for a reason. And the industry of counselors and therapists is changing. It is not what it used to be, and it is changing for the better. So if you are somebody that needs that support, please, I encourage you to seek it out, because honestly, what you have going on inside may not be something that friends or family will be able to help you, and not necessarily in a bad way, but sometimes those feelings and emotions are so strong and so powerful. You need to be able to have a disconnected third party that you can trust to be able to talk to about those things. Or you need to be able to find another way to let those feelings out so that you can make room for focusing on the things that you desire and want the most in life. It really, really does come down to that. Once you start focusing on what you want, it will come into your life. Now, I started focusing on what I wanted in January. It's now May 22nd. Things are changing in my life that I have no longer control over, in the respect I've put it out there. No matter how much I didn't want these jobs that are coming, if I didn't want them at this point, I've already applied. I've already set the wheel in motion, right? Like, inevitably, things are going to happen. I'm either going to get a not referred or referred on a job that I'm applying for at this point, and I have put so much positive energy out there to increase my income and contributions to my family that the universe has to listen. It has to respond, so long as I am taking those daily steps and daily actions that are needed for me to succeed in that way. So please keep your head up. Even if it seems impossible, please keep focusing on the things that you want to draw into your life, and I promise you, they will come.